Hello guys, my name is Mark Lelovic and I'm working at Sygic. Welcome to our virtual press conference, which we have decided to do for obvious reasons, as due to global pandemics. So let us start. So who will speak today? It will be myself. I am the global PR manager for Sygic. Then you will hear and see Petr Fuzek, who is our Vice President for e-mobility, and Dominika Šubáková, who is our Technical Coordinator for e-mobility. Today we will talk about Sygic, who we are, why we think that we are one of the best navigations in the world. Then we will talk about everyday challenges of electric mobility. Then we will show you how Sygic addresses e-mobility challenges. Then our colleague Dominika will show you live demo and video of the application. And then there will be some space also for your questions. And you will be able also in the end of this event reserve a slot for interview with our Vice President for e-mobility, Petr Fuzek. I just want to say that during all the presentation, you are free to ask any questions you are interested in, and we will be answering them in the end of this press conference. So let us start with Sygic. Sygic is a company which was founded in 2004. So we have more than 16 years of experience behind ourselves. It's not only about navigation for regular drivers who are going to work and back to home, or are going for trips. Our company is working in many fields, including, for example, automotive, where we are communicating with OEM manufacturers of built-in displays in the cars to include our solution into built-in navigations in cars. Then we are also pretty much successful in fleet and workforce business. We are navigating more than 2,000 fleets and 2 million professional drivers. We have also our consumer application, which is used by more than 200 million drivers globally. It's offline navigation. It was the first navigation for iOS in 2008. And today we will talk about electric mobility, the hassle-free and range experience for your electric vehicle. This is the new field where we are going, and I'm proud that Sygic is the one and only company for mobile navigation which has the mobile navigation with payments for charging. Here's a brief history of Sygic. I'm sure that you will not be interested in going through all of this. Most recently, Sygic has been awarded as a top innovation at CES 2020. When our traffic lights add-on for Sygic GPS navigation has been recognized by technology professionals as one of the top innovations in the field. Sygic GPS navigation, where you can find also the new free EV mode, or the mode for electric vehicles, is the second most downloaded navigation after Google Maps and Waze. We are supporting almost all connectivities, including Apple CarPlay, Smart Device Link, and Mirror Link. and we are still innovating. This is one of the goals of Sygic, is to never stop innovate. So I will now give the word to our e-mobility Vice President, Petr Fuzek.
Okay, good morning, all of you interested in Sygic and our new product in e-mobility. First, let me give you some insights from the e-mobility market. The e-mobility is growing continuously. Now, when COVID-19 has influenced heavily the new car sales, it's a little bit surprised that it wasn't the case really for electric cars. In the Western Europe, as you can see on the slide here, both total volumes of electric cars and the market share has increased dramatically in the last quarter. Again, the result is about 4%, and in March alone, it was 6% market share in Western Europe. This is led, for instance, by the German market, which has achieved 9% from new car sales being electric. It means either full electric, battery electric vehicles, or plug-in hybrid electric vehicles. Let me continue to the next one. Yeah, we are happy that we are hitting the market now with our e-mobility product exactly in these times. We believe now e-mobility is entering the mass market, but mass market doesn't mean only higher volumes of electric cars and more customers on the street, but it's also different kind of customers, which we need to treat well and prepare the services for them. In the past, it was all about early adopters, technological geeks, but also companies willing to promote their green PR, testing this new technology in their fleet. But now we have more electric vehicles, more car models available on the market you can choose from. It's no longer a vehicle which can run only 150, 200 kilometers of range. Now with bigger batteries, you can easily reach 300, 400, or even 500 kilometers of real range in real conditions in everyday life. But what will happen then when you run out of power and you think about where you can charge your vehicle? In the past, it was all about range anxiety, which was related to simply running out of power. But now the new challenge is charging anxiety. So you go with your vehicle in your final destination, and you think about how to charge. There are many solutions which help you to find a charging station, but how long does it really take to charge? Do you need some dedicated mobile app to control the station because there is nobody to help you? It's usually just somewhere standing on the parking lot. Will it be compatible with your car? Maybe you have Nissan Leaf with CHAdeMO, and there are not so many CHAdeMO charging stations in Europe. And in many cases, you still need an RFID chip to unlock the station. Where do you get it? Do you need to get it before you go for your trip? And now imagine you travel across the border. This is the case in Europe a lot, including now for electric cars. So let's imagine you go to Austria, and it's all in German. You speak German to find a solution. What kind of solution you will look for, and how much does it cost? In many cases, you even need to go to office of this provider to sign a contract, and then you get the RFID chip that you are allowed to charge at the charging station. So this is what we call the charging anxiety. And we decided to address this topic. And we were working on a product which we call Sygic EV mode. EV stands for electric vehicle. What you can see, it's part of our Sygic GPS navigation. So we could easily develop another application which would be related purely to electric car driving. But we think that e-mobility shouldn't be something so special and separated. You're just a regular driver now, and it happens you drive with electric car. So you want to use your navigation you are used to. But now you need some additional features which simply allow you to use the car properly and to overcome this anxiety, both range and charging. So that's what we are trying to work on now. And let me show you some example. Yeah. So what we do, we ask the driver at the beginning where he wants to go, because at the end, it's not about planning your trip to the charging station. You don't want to travel from one charging station to another. That's not your aim. Your objective is to reach your final destination, to visit your friends, to go to the business trip, to visit some nice holiday place. So this is still valid also in case of e-mobility. But this time you need to really carefully find also and identify the right charging station on the way. So what we do, we ask the driver at the beginning what kind of vehicle he has or she has, also what are the charging preferences, so which chargers they prefer. And we propose and recommend these charging stations on the way, which are fulfilling the criteria. And we also say what will be the price of charging and how long does it take. We give it a notification when the charging is finished or achieve some sufficient range to reach the final destination and so on. We will show you more in detail in real demo. So I hope from my perspective, I was, can we change the next one, please? Yeah, I hope from my perspective, I was able to present you what were our drivers and motivation why we started with e-mobility. We really believe this is now important to recognize that the mass market is here. And these drivers, they are not just super enthusiastic about e-mobility and they want to plan their trip for hours to think about all the possibilities and obstacles and so on. They want a seamless integration, really full living and charging experience in one solution which is convenient for them. In ideal case, also connected with their car, and it all works smooth. So that's what we are working on. And in this point, I would like to hand over the word to Domenica, and she will tell you and demonstrate live to you how the application works.
Thank you very much, Peter, for giving me a word. I would like to show you how we address or how Sygic address these problems what Peter described. With our solution, they are easy, just 8 steps, how you can have all your charging experience in one place. At the beginning, it would be nice to fill all the information regarding your car or your charging preference. But if you decide that you don't want to do it at the beginning, but later on, you can use EV mode as well. So easily with the first steps, you are charging or you are looking for charging station either around you for emergency charging or on the route when you are going from place A to B. In the second steps, you can find all detailed information about your chosen charger. So it means what kind of type of connectors are there, the availability, what is really important because you don't want to get to the charger and then find out that it's occupied. In the third step, you basically just check your number of the connector in real and also in the application, and you choose this connector and put it into your car. You select a payment method, and when your car is connected with the right connector to the car, just click on start charging. So easily it is, and then you can go just for a coffee, or you can find also inside the navigation what are restaurants around you, and you will easily receive some notification when the battery will be at certain level, about 50%, 80%, or fully charged. At the end, you just return to your car, look at the application, you end charging, and you can check your charging records. Your charging records could be also checked later on in the charging history. So these are really easy steps how we try to address everything. And right now, I would like to show you how the application looks like in real. So let me share. Should be there. Okay. So right now you see the Sygic GPS navigation as it is, as you know it. In the menu, there on the left side, you can find now EV mode. If I click on EV mode, your information will pop out. Here, easily, you can just click between activated and deactivated, as I noticed or mentioned at the beginning. For application to look really correctly and compatible with your car, it's really nice to fill. So you click on the Add Your Vehicle. In this section, you can find the whole database of electric and plug-in hybrid cars. So let's say I choose my BMW, as we have this car in the company, and then also the model, it's also pre-selected, so you can find like what kind of BMW are on the market. So I know that we have this one, I select it and I confirm. There is also pre-selected the battery capacity. But if you know that your car is, for example, older, or you know that you want to make some adjustment, you can easily just change it. For example, I know that the battery is not so full as at the beginning. It's just 17 kilowatt hours, and you confirm. Then you confirm setting up your vehicle, and like this, your new vehicle is added. If you look at this page, you can also look at the supported connector. So these are actually connectors that are compatible with your car. But if you have, for example, reduction that you know that you can use also, for example, HDMI, or you know that you can use a home plug, you can easily choose the types of connector for which you have reduction, and like this also make the range of the chargers higher. Also, you can set up the maximum AC charging capacity or maximum DC charging capacity. Both is actually already pre-selected. So like this, my vehicle is set up. If I look at the charging preferences, I also can make some adjustment. Let's say if I'm going for a long trip and I don't want to spend time on slow charging stations, I can easily just switch to just DC charging, which means fast charging station, and only this charging station will be filtered. If I don't mind that I'm gonna be spending sometimes longer time, or I know that I want to go for a trip, and my car could be charged for hours, then I can just switch easily and look at the power range, and either or with my fingers just to change it that I really don't want really slow, but from 7.2 would be okay. And there are another one filters what you can use. So right now I set up my charging preferences. What are two most important steps? And in these steps, you also can look at the payment preferences. And if you are already registered Sygic user, you have there your email, you click on the payment method, and I already have there my credit card, but if you want, you can use another payment method. So you just add your payment method, and in this step, Sygic will address you to the page where you can choose either PayPal account or credit card. So I already fill my credit card, and I can close this one. And like this, you can easily start to use your EV mode. Right now, what's changed is that actually is a color. So you all the time know if you are using EV mode and all the settings are relating to EV mode when the color is green. Either you can look for charging station around you easily in the search menu on the third place. And like these are all the stations around you with all online data. But probably you are not going to be looking for things around you, but probably you're going to use navigation to get somewhere. So let's say I'm going in the summer for a trip to Salzburg. In Austria. So this is my final destination. I just get direction, and while planning a trip, I want to make sure, as it is far away, that I'm gonna get there. So now it's some routes what are recommended and some other routes what you can go through. From my perspective, I'm used to go through, for example, Germany, because I want to stop by with my friends. So I just choose a recommended route, what is, for example, this one, and easily on this one, up here, I'm gonna plan charging along the route. If I click charging on the route, you can see how on my selected route, all the charging stations that fits to my car or are based on my preferences pop out. I know that my car could go fully charged 300 kilometers, but let's say I don't want to be like completely dry out and charge first time charge after 300 kilometers. So probably I'm gonna choose one around 200 kilometers just to make sure that I'm gonna go there easily. I click this charging station and just easily either I can look what kind of, I can see that it's available, I can see all the information, and I can just add it to my route. So I just add a stop. Like this, my route would be recalculating regarding stop for charging. But I know that probably one charging station is not enough, that I need to stop somewhere else as well. So either I can then like to change my direction because I want to go through other cities, or I go with pre-selected, and in between I can find another charging station. So let's say I want to visit Munich in the city center, and I don't mind to charge somewhere there. So I just click and choose some charging station. I see that actually it's gonna be even fast. I see that the fast charging station is available, so I easily just add it to my stop. And like this, all my route from A to B for a long trip would be prepared. I just click on the start. And I can start my route from Prague, where I am right now. I'm not gonna be starting my route as I'm sitting in front of you and explaining you how application look like. So I will just cancel the route. But what is nice to say or see that if I look in the charging station, how the experience actually will look like. If I look at my final destination, Salzburg, and charger where I already pre-selected, I can find all the information what are there. So if you are already at the charger, you can see the connectors, the availability, approximate price, and you can just start to charge. So let's say I'm in the place and I want to be charging at the slow charging station type 2, and I click on the charge. When I click on the charge, application actually gonna ask me what is my current level of the battery. I didn't come with completely zero, so let's say I came with 40% of the battery, so this is my actual state of battery, and like this application actually can calculate when you reach certain level of the batteries. In this moment, I would need to be connected with my car into the charger, and then just click on the start charging. As right now I'm not connected with my car, this is what you can see. You could not connect because my car is not actually in the charging station. But if you would be connected with a car, it would work. So I would like to close it, and I would go back to the presentation. So I'm gonna ask Marek to share it as well, so I can show you what you could see if you would be in inside and you would start charging. You can see these 3 slots as the one what I show you in the application. And if the car would be connected, then you can see actually the range, you can see approximate price, you can see your level of the battery. And like this, you can just minimize, go for coffee or close the application, doesn't need to run all the time. And when you return to your car, you basically just open Sygic, and then the charging session would be presented, and you just click on the stop charging and your session would be done. Like in these easy steps, you can actually plan the whole trip, and it's much more easier than to change between different kind of application. I would like to give world back to Peter, who will tell you or maybe one more word regarding to EV mode, so you know where it works. Right now, we have coverage around with full functionality, more than 150,000 charging points in Europe. So it means full functionality what I just showed you with integrated payment and with online data regarding availability. But we are still working on improvements in other regions. But around the world, you can find in Sygic GPS navigation more than 300,000 charging points with the static data. And now I will return the word to Peter.
Okay. So thank you, Dominika, for the introduction. So to summarize, what you have seen, it's something what we call the full charging and driving experience. So using one app for any kind of travel with your electric car. The core functionality of Sygic still remains also in the offline mode. But of course, if you want to charge and activate the charging and also see the availability of the chargers, you should go online. So it will not consume so much data as other solution eventually, but it's important to consider which functionalities are related to me. We believe we are the first navigation globally where we using the integrated payment solution and dedicated EV routing specifically for electric cars. Part of the selected functionalities which are now specific for us is that you can really fill in your vehicle profile. Accordingly to your vehicle profile, the trip is being calculated and also the other services are being provided. You also select your charging profile. More and more charging stations and charging station providers will be added, so you can have really convenient travel. What is important to say, we don't aim to have all the charging stations displayed in our navigation. We pre-select those for our customers, which are the most convenient and which provide really this full charging experience. And we are bringing more features and new functions every day. We have already a couple of thousands users which are testing our first application over the last couple of weeks. So stay tuned, expect more features and more functionalities to come. And we were happy today to be able to present it to you. So in case you have now any questions, we have two possibilities. One, you can address the topic directly in the live event Q&A, and I see Sergey has just posted one question. You can also address Marek via the email and organize a call one-on-one to discuss more in detail what we have shown today. And I mean, you can also directly connect with me anytime. So now when I look at the question, are charging stations forced to charge on the spot, or are there ones where the batteries are simply replaced and you don't have to sit and wait for the battery to charge? So thank you for this question. The topic which you are addressing is we usually call the battery swapping technology. So this technology is not yet widely spread. Usually it's used in closed fleet of electric vehicles, not really for public. And currently there is, to my knowledge, no electric vehicle which you as an end user can just buy and has the functionality of swapping. With this is also related really limited coverage of such a service globally, so you don't have these swapping stations available. And because with our service, we aiming really for the mass market and for the solution which is addressing as many users as possible, the convenient way, we don't have this service now implemented in our solution. So I hope I have answered the question. No correction in there. So we will now wait eventually if other question will appear. And as said, you can also come back to us anytime later on.
So I'm not sure now if any other questions will pop out. Mm-hmm. So
I would maybe wait 1 more minute because there is a little bit delay between the streaming and the answer. But yeah, otherwise all the information would be published later. You can send emails. And we're gonna also share the link to video of this presentation.
Maybe Peter, I have one question for you. Like, what are the other plans with like there is just currently one integrated charging service provider. Will there be any other service providers, or is Sygic planning any other service providers to join?
So for us, one of the priorities is to provide this service globally with the same user experience. So currently we have really good coverage in Europe. Of course, it can always get better. So we are already talking with some local providers as well. But there are other markets like US, India, Middle East, and many more where e-mobility is popping up, and we want to have the solution suitable also for these regions. So many of these new providers are coming to be also part of our platform, and yeah, we expect in the upcoming months the coverage to be significantly improved.
Maybe you have been working for a long time in Škoda, and you have been leading the team for the electromobility. What are your expectations for the field in the next, I don't know, 10 years?
Well, what cannot be ignored anymore is that e-mobility is here. By both the legislation and all the leading car manufacturers, e-mobility is recognized as the leading alternative technology to fossil fuels. There is definitely a big potential for hydrogen, gas-powered vehicles, of course, as well, or synthetic fuels. So the market at the end will be very much diversified, but e-mobility will play one of the leading roles in the field of alternative fuels. And the significant start and beginning of this adoption of e-mobility is considered really the year 2020. We might see slight slowdown compared to the previous plans, maybe in 2020 because of the COVID situation, but at the end, still the volumes are increasing dramatically. And it's also driven by the CO2 legislation in Europe, but also in other countries worldwide. And also the cities and the local government in each of the member states are implementing measures which are fully supporting e-mobility and the development of the charging infrastructure. So we want to be there ready for those changes and support it from the angle which we believe we know the most, and that's navigation and in general the location-based services, and now also payment. So I believe this would be all from yeah. I will leave it here. for the question.
I have one more question. It's maybe about the automakers. Do you think that they are like addressing the navigation in electric vehicles properly, or how can it be changed?
Well, in the car industry, a lot of things are being outsourced. So if you want to get the best tires on your car, it's not that the car manufacturer is manufacturing tires themselves. They have a strong partner which is supplying such a solution for them, and it will continue this way also in the future. So it's all about tight relationship between the tier 1 suppliers and the car manufacturers. In field of navigation, there is no difference. It's also, of course, heavily influenced by the car manufacturer because they know the specifics of the car. You need to work closely together with them, and there will be always some solution how to use your infotainment directly in the car. But it's more and more visible that the market and the customer needs are related to our mobile phones and tablets and other electronics, which the users are customizing themselves, because then they can now also customize the car, but you simply want to have one interface which you are used to. And that's where we can again present as Sygic. So everything what you do with your phone, you can connect now with your car, and we are close relationship with selected car manufacturers to make it the most convenient way also in the future.
Maybe what more questions always. What is the difference between navigating electric car and combustion engine car?
Well, I think most of it we have seen today through the presentation, and you know, the thing with a normal car is you don't really care about the fuel station. They're always there somewhere. And when you really plan your trip, let's say with your family for a holiday, most of us we don't really think about every euro cent which is spent on a one refilling. So it's good to have a transparency in the fuel. Of course, you don't want to have the most expensive one, so you select somehow some fuel station. But at the end, it's all about fast refilling and just reaching the destination and to enjoy the final point. In case of electric car, the charging is let's say extending this refilling experience, because you definitely will spend there much more time, and you can do other activities. Like Dominika said, you can visit restaurant, and meanwhile you can even visit some nice downtown or city center from the town you are going through. And when you drive electric car, the big advantage is that most of these charging stations, they have parking for free. So you just pay for the electricity which you get, but you can spend there 1 or 2 hours charging, and in meanwhile you just park it with your car in the city center and can borrow a bicycle and make a cruise around it. So it's really changing, and I think this is also addressing, let's say, the new digital generation of people, which simply live really fast and want to utilize their time as much as possible. So I think that this would be it. And as said previously, please come back to us in case of any questions. We also offer to have a direct interview together with you. So thank you from my side.
Thank you guys for attending. And yeah, if you will have any questions, feel free to reach me by email or by phone. And if you would like to book an interview with Peter, feel free to write me as well or call me. I think Peter is not only capable to talk just about the Sygic solution, but also about electromobility and in general. And I think his vast experience in the field will really provide you and for your readers some useful insight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.